Welcome back, my fellow fiends. Every day is a holiday, and August 30th is Frankenstein Day, commemorating the birth of Mary Shelley, author of one of the most iconic horror stories of all time. In all my years of studying horror, I'm not sure I've ever sat down and watched James Whale's classic adaptation until preparing for this video. As a child, it was the gory thrills of the 80s and 90s slashers that drew me in, and the pitch-black surrealism of the J-horror craze that held my attention. An appreciation for the history of the genre would come later in life. After two recent viewings, however, I can safely say that it holds up brilliantly to this day. While the novel was written in the early 1800s, the 1931 film utilizes set and wardrobe design more reminiscent of the latter part of the century, which I believe helped create a timeless atmosphere. Many such liberties were taken with the source material, which itself was altered by Shelley for a later release. Indeed, the project went through various changes at the studio before settling on the version we all know and love. At one point, Bela Lugosi was attached to play the monster, which would have been a mindless savage rather than the tragically misunderstood figure brought to the screen by a then unknown British actor, Boris Karloff. For audiences in 1931, Frankenstein was truly horrific, featuring scenes that would be cut from later releases, such as the monster accidentally drowning a child because he thought she'd float too. The scene cuts off just before he grabs her, leaving the viewer's imagination to fill in the blanks. A line in which Frankenstein compares himself to God was also dubbed over with a clap of thunder. Even these changes would not be enough for the state of Kansas, who banned Frankenstein for being cruel and toxic to public morality. Kansas would go on to be the home of Fred Phelps and the BTK killer Dennis Rader. It's really impossible to overstate the impact this movie had on popular culture. It's been called a modern myth and rehashed and reinterpreted countless times. Karloff would go on to play the monster twice more for Universal, ruining his back in the process due to the back brace and heavy makeup required to perform the character's lumbering movements. I also watched the 1994 adaptation starring Robert De Niro as the monster. I haven't read the original story, but from what I understand, this version is far more faithful. We see more of Frankenstein's lust for knowledge and descent into madness, and the creature is intelligent and well-spoken, with a clear and powerful spirit of revenge. I feel like this movie would be popular if people watched it today. It's distinctly pro-vaccine, and we're treated to a scene of the monster doling out swift punishment to an abusive landlord. A more recent bit of Frankenstein-related media is the dryly humorous short, Frankenstein's Monster's Monster, Frankenstein. Clocking in at around 30 minutes and starring David Harbour, it explores the relationship between a pretentious family of actors and a televised play about a mad doctor who swaps places with his lab assistant. As confusing as that sounds, it definitely backs up its novelty with genuine drama and inspired performances. The core themes of Frankenstein can be seen in other stories as well. I think everyone eventually creates something they fear will come back to destroy them. This serves as the conflict in such movies as Reanimator, Frankenhooker, and certain entries in the Puppet Master franchise. With all these options, what will I be doing to celebrate Frankenstein Day? I think it's time to move on to the sequel, Bride of Frankenstein. I've heard it hailed as the best horror sequel of all time, and possibly the first time a monster returns despite being clearly killed in the preceding film. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Frankenstein movie is.
Don't forget to join the Fear 20 Discord. We've got memes, streams, and most importantly, screams.